Hi, I'm Molly.
And I'm Jamie, and this is our From the Pasture with Hired Hand podcast. As the owners of Hired Hand website software, we've been developing websites and creating internet marketing strategies for livestock breeders for the past 10 years.
The majority of our customers are involved in the breeding of registered animals, such as Texas Longhorns, Highland cattle, horses, and white-tailed deer, where the pedigrees are very important. The From the Pasture with Hired Hand podcast examines many of the differences in raising pedigreed livestock for maximum profit. Join us and learn what we're covering today.
So today I'm joined with Bob Larson of RC Larson Longhorns. He is in Oregon, so we're having a faraway guest today. So thanks for joining us, Bob. Go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, thanks for having us. About ourselves, we started a long time ago in the dairy industry, and then in 2000 we bought our first cows, and it has blossomed from there. We went from the show circuit to the sale ring to all the other things in between, to helping our customers in our AI and embryo program, and it's been a fun journey.
So you started in dairy. So tell us a little bit about how or why you got into Longhorn.
Well, I started in dairy a long time ago, 1974. Even back before then, two dairymen that were part of my life instilled the love of farming in me, and I bought a dairy in 1976. And I sold it in 84 and did other things and with our farm until 2000, when we bought our first Longhorns. And in between that time in the dairy industry is how we got mixed up in that artificial insemination, basically. And as a lot of people know, we don't own any bulls here on RC Larson Longhorns. It's all AI.
So tell us a little bit, when you decided that you wanted to get into Longhorns, tell us a little bit about how you found your first ones, maybe who you bought them from, why you bought the ones that you did. Give us a little history lesson there.
I don't even remember how we looked them up, how we found them online, or it wasn't even maybe online in 2000 for us anyway. Well, maybe it was, because I think we got our first computer in 1998, and we bought our first cows from Cheryl Johnson with J5 Longhorns in Oregon, and they were show cows. And then we went to the Winger herd and bought some horn cows, basically. With the phenomenon genetics, which were so popular at the time. And then we met Mel Rayleigh when we bought our first set of cows. They encouraged us to go to a show. So we took our daughter Lacey, trained up a little baby bull calf. He was kind of cute. And Lacey was cuter. And she won grand champion. We thought we had the best herd in the United States. And with that, Mel Rayleigh became our very, very, very best friend and mentor. And he has since passed away. He was the manager at El Coyote Ranch in the old days. And he was instrumental in starting our program. So
when you think back 20 some years to when you had your first ones, besides your great memories with JC, what was your favorite part about having them to start with?
The favorite part about just raising cows, about raising Longhorns.
Yeah,
the list is incredible. Breeding all those cows, starting an AI program, watching. I guess what intrigued me the most in the old days was getting my Trails magazine and wondering how we could ever get to that next step in our genetics, that we could be in that magazine and raise the quality of cattle that the breeders, that we could go into the major sales and be successful. Mel Rayleigh taught me that our breeding program, we live 2,500 miles away from the hub of the industry, and our honesty and our integrity are everything. And with that, and then our cow knowledge and our AI program, we've kind of hopefully developed something. I was at a sale once and they said Jimmy Jones doesn't bring many cows to town, but when he does, they're good. And I think I hope that's where we are. We're a long ways away. When we come, we like to bring something that people are excited about.
So picking up on what you said about the trails a little bit, do you remember how long it took you till you were in the magazine? So you kind of reached that milestone?
Well, I got an old ad back here stuck behind the computer. Maybe 2007, maybe 7 years, which would have been 2 or 3 generations. And again, what a lot of people make mistakes at is buying a $500 cow at that time was a lot of money for me. Still is. But you should have bought a $2,500 cow to start with. And it took us several generations of AI work, matching genetics. And genetics aren't that difficult, in my opinion, to match a bull with a cow family, a bull family with a cow family, and get the same results you see in the magazines or in the sales. You have several daughters that are all from these different same cow families, and you have a daughter out there or a dam out there that's basically the same. You should be using Jimbo the bull, that's working on those same genetics, and that's what we have done and made it quite simple. And then our reputation kind of began to get out there, and that's when AI and embryo services started. And we began working for other folks to build their genetics and their programs on specific females and bulls with in vitro IVF.
So tell us
that's been going since about 2000. Go ahead.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
So tell us a little bit about when you were first getting started in those services specifically. Tell us some of the lessons you learned or some of your first memories and successes.
Well, you have to understand that the area that we live on the North Oregon coast is the dairy industry. And we have amazing reproductive vets, breeders, embryologists, and people around us that are really good at what they do. So when we started doing our conventional flushes using sex semen, and then eventually IVF, which has been really successful. They've made big strides in sex semen. To tell you the truth, I never got one embryo with sex semen conventional flush. Never did. I don't know why or how, or it was old days in 2005. They've made a lot of changes since then, but IVF has been our game changer. And people just learned of my reputation, and by us traveling 2,500 miles to a sale and sometimes coming home with our tail between our legs and or a show and getting whipped up on, excuse me. It's been a fun trip, but then our reputation got out there, and we started, when we go to Texas in the spring, we generally, Oklahoma, Kansas, we generally bring 2 or 3 cows home or something to do IVF for a customer during the summertime season. Our climate is much better for the cows. Our average temperature is 65 to 70 degrees in the summertime versus Texas right now, Oklahoma, and which are just getting cooked. And breeding season is basically over as far as doing AI work and embryo work, as the heat has, and our nutrition too here is really beneficial in the summertime. So we kind of have an advantage, and that's what people have learned, is that we just offer a simple, convenient service.
So I'm going to put you on the spot here with a question that wasn't on our list. If you had to pick just one, what would be the most exciting IVF you've ever worked on? Or the most exciting result you've ever had, maybe?
Wow. One,
just one,
you know,
just one.
this business, it can hurt you. I mean, you can hope for the best and you get nothing, or you implant all these embryos and you get nothing. And then all of a sudden you hit one. But recently, Friends, Native Beauty, Jam and Jenny, my cow, Lacey K, have just did a wonderful job for us and probably the industry. Hope we get plenty of pregnancies out of that. We've made plenty of embryos, and we just have to get plenty more. And we have another cow here, LR Daydream, who would actually belong to my daughter, who's produced amazing females. And so the list is huge. Our first flushes were emperor daughters and phenomenon granddaughters, and we went with a wing and a prayer with a grand slam and Rio Grande, and the beef industry, the Longhorn industry, is so far behind from the dairy industry as far as using bulls and versus AI, IVF versus homegrown bulls. And that's the difference of expanding your program quickly and efficiently and cost effective. So even the old Owen McGill herd that I have here right now are just amazing cattle. And we've been doing IVF with them for a long time. And we don't get very many embryos, but we get a few all the time. And they just stay around here. And we do IVF on all those great cows, the Owen McGill herd. Yeah, those are fun.
Very exciting. And I'll let it slide that you picked more than one.
You can't pick more than one, that's for sure. I mean, they tell me I should have a picture wall in my barn around my Longhorn chute of all the great cows that we've done here, because it is really exciting. And I just don't even think about it much. You know, a cow comes in here, we do IVF on her, we do her a couple of times, we get her bred, we send her home, and then she sells in the industry and for a huge amount of money. And it's so exciting to have them here, really. So, and blessed, we are just blessed to be able to offer this. And again, being this far away, and everybody says, oh, you're a long ways away, Bob. Hey, those cows handle that trip just as, if you take care of them on the way, and they pull in here just like they haven't left home, as we've demonstrated in the sales that we go to. So.
Love what you're hearing? Be sure to check out our Pickup Truck Confessions. It's a video series where we hop in the truck or rental car and interview a variety of breeders about what drives their passion for their livestock, how they got started in the breed of their choice, marketing tips, and more. And now, back to the podcast.
Well, jumping back to our list of questions here a little bit, you've talked a lot about Mel Rayleigh so far, and for our listeners who maybe don't, know Mel's impact on the industry, definitely that's something to research and look up. But who are some other people in the industry
Sure.
that that have contributed to your success, or that you want to, kind of give credit to different parts of your breeding program?
Years of being in the industry and being on the board of directors during some tough times, people that I've shook hands with and listened to along the way, again, the list is incredibly long, and sometimes you're better off to listen and think about what you've heard on the way home for 2 days at 2,500 miles, and go from there. But people like Ty Waring, who was probably he was a great cowman and taught me so much about breeding cows and taking care of cows. Even though I had a background in the industry, he was a great mentor. Friends that have helped me, that have always had a place to say, Dr. Zach Dameron has always been there when we've traveled. The people that have saved me on all the trips we've taken, and some days in the old days gone on a wing and a prayer to Fort Worth, and people that have helped me along the way, and when you break down, so yeah, it's been an incredible. The list is huge. My friends in this industry, and we continue to enjoy it, and that's why I'm still doing it. And my daughter's getting involved now, and my family is getting involved, being it's a small business as far as small farm goes. And yeah, we continue to move forward.
So let's talk about your website a little bit. Everyone in the industry who knows you had a website on your own for a long time, and I think you got a lot of grief for not switching over sooner, if I remember our conversation correctly. What made you finally decide that you wanted to put Hired Hand to work for you on your website?
Honestly, Mr. Mike Lett, Nebraska, LL Longhorns, said, Bob, you need a website. I need to order stuff from you. I need to know what you have. I need to see your pictures. I need to know all your information. And with that, I called you, which you got me in contact with Angie. And from that point on, it was a simple, easy, almost enjoyable endeavor to get it all put together. And ours is a little bit different than everybody else's in that we really don't have a sale pen as far as cows go, although we are going to have one. I mean, if you look at our website, it just says nothing's available, but we have donor cows for our embryo program, and bulls. Our bulls are name brand, some of the best bulls in the breed in our bull page, and they're all in a semen tank. And again, we don't have any bulls on the property. We complete AI or embryo program.
We kind of took that idea of the photo wall that folks have mentioned to you about being around your chute, and we just kind of put it out there on the internet for everyone to go and kind of look through. Is that an accurate representation?
Yeah, that is. And I guess our the bull, consistency. What we try to do there with our embryo program, and we listed all our embryos and the amount we have, even though some of those matings don't belong to me. They're there to show our viewers that what we have to offer. So if somebody calls me for a specific embryo, sometimes I can't sell that embryo, but it's there just for their knowledge, to let them know what we do, who we've done. And I can sure call the owner of that cow and say, do you want to sell one of these embryos? And we've already We had one breeder call, and due to the website, has already bought individual embryos from us. And we're excited about that.
Have you gotten any other feedback from people since switching over to hired hands? Do you think folks enjoy it a little bit more?
You know, I didn't know there was another program out there other than hired hand that intertwines the industry. And that's the unique thing, that hired hand intertwines the industry with everything that I do. If I look up anything, it's always I can get back to hired hand through their websites or their information or everything that's in the TLBAA, and that's, or the ITLA as well as that goes. So yeah, it was just a long time of knowing hired hand, knowing the people around them, and not having a website, and then somebody convincing me that it was time. And maybe it should have been done a long time ago, but you know, that's just the way it is. And we're excited to have one now, just so people can look us up and understand what we do here and the services we offer. Right now, we have way too many cows here being worked on from other breeders. 4 more coming in tomorrow to do in the summertime, but I only do it in the summertime because once it gets to be October, and it begins to rain here, they just, too many cows just tear up fields and ruin everything. So only a summertime gig.
Well, we really appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule with all the cows arriving to visit with us. Is there anything else before we go into the last question that you want the listeners to know about your services or about your breeding program?
Only that we just don't do it for ourselves. We do it for other breeders. If they have a great cow or want to promote some genetics, and we can sure do it here. And we do it. It's cost effective to do it. And what can I say? It's just we're just a phone call away. Find out how we can get cows here. We have we have haulers that come in here, go to sales all the time, different directions, California, Midwest, Texas, Southwest, and hauling is available. Even though it's getting pretty expensive, we try and load up a bunch of cows and reduce those costs, and maybe hauling is the biggest cost right now compared to doing the actual IVF, buying the semen, and paying for the embryos that are produced. So I'd like to talk to anyone who has a great cow. It's still fun. And we have a great, simple little environment to work cows in, and I'd like to talk to anybody. So what's the next? Why do you think that the next one's a tough one?
Well, you really can only pick one for this one. So I'm gonna hold you to it this time. So if you had to pick any hired hand website besides your own that was your favorite, which one would you pick?
Oh, I can't. I'm sorry. You can't. I mean, when somebody says, I got a great bull, Jimbo, and I look up Jimbo, goes to your website, and I look at your websites, I just appreciate, I guess that's what the word, I appreciate everything that hired hand has done for this industry. And again, the intertwined, it's all into the TLBA, the ITLA, everything is combined to see everyone's program. So that's my answer. I hope that's a good one.
I suppose I'll take it.
And I don't know how to answer this, just one, because I study bulls and cows and genetics, of course, on the internet, and or my phone or something, and we go from there. But and sometimes websites pop up, but there's some cool ones. That's all I'll say. There's some cool ones out there, and mine is a little more unique because we don't have the sales type that. So.
Well, I know all of us here in the office are excited to see you continue to add to your website in terms of the cows that you're fortunate enough to get to work on, and we look forward to watching you and Carmen's continued growth in the industry.
I thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate it.
Oh, all right. I could probably go on forever with being an old horseshoer and having stories behind this industry and the people behind it and the cows behind it. But it's been fun, fun journey for all of us, Carmen and Lacey. And I just look forward to the next generation to getting involved and coming along, and not generation of cows, generation of people. And so we're working on that too.
Well, maybe we'll have to record a part 2. How about that?
Okay. All right. That'd be fine.
All right. Well, thank you again, Bob.
All right. Goodbye.